Hello everyone, welcome to round number 6 of Norway Chess 2022. And one of the highlights of this round is Magnus Carlsen's classical win over Mamedyarov. And with this win, it brings Magnus' classical rating to 2870. Although his peak rating was 2882, for now it's 30 points closer to that 2,900 barrier. Will he get to that rating? We will see. And also with this win, Carlsen now is the sole leader of the tournament in his home turf. He was white against Mami. He started with knight f3. Mami went for d5, g3, g6. Bishop g2, bishop g7, d4, knight f6, castles, c4. A typical Magnus these days, playing the Catalan. c6, knight c3. All right, the queen's gambit accepted on c4. Black wins the pawn, but white controls the middle. Okay, d4, bishop g4, h3, takes. White also gets a pair of bishop. e5 takes, knight f d7. Okay, giving back that pawn with e6, but isolates that pawn on that square, and that is also a target. Magnus played this line. He's very familiar with this because also his trainer, or his second, Daniil Dubov, played this 3 years ago. Bishop e3. In that game, Dubov's opponent went for knight e5, and Dubov went back to bishop e2 and went on to win with queen e7, f4. All right. Now Mamedyarov played a novelty with queen e7, protecting e6. Carlsen played back the bishop with bishop g2, knight into a6, queen e2. Hitting the target on c4, knight b4. Now, if Mamedyarov goes b5 here, white will just play a4. Because a takes b5 is a discovered attack on a knight on a6. And this knight is also attacking b5. And if the knight goes back to c7, just takes on b5, e5. Right. Discovered attack on the rook, target on a7. Okay, so knight a6, queen e2, knight b4, takes in c4, knight into c2. Now knight threatens the rook and the bishop, but Carlsen has knight e5. Takes in d5, queen takes e2. If black captures with the e pawn, queen takes e2, d takes e4, it will be a problem because it's queen b3 check. And b7 is going to be dead. Yeah. So this was forced, capturing the c pawn. The e6 pawn is blocking that threat to the king. Takes in c2, b4, pass pawn. Bishop d2, rook a, c8, queen to b3. This is typical Carlsen, grinding out. Yeah. Knight into c5, queen a3. Queen to d7, rook a c1. Now you don't want to be greedy with queen takes pawn, because now black has d3 threatening b2. And if you go back to a3 to protect the pawn, there's knight a4. And now threatening rook c2. So rook a c1, right? Rook on an open file, attacking the knight after b6, e5, nice move. Nice positional sacrifice by Magnus to open up his bishop and his rook. Line clearance. Takes on e5, rook f e1. That was a good positional sacrifice. Bishop g7, b4, driving away the knight. No other better square. Knight a4, of course, you cannot go back to b7 because queen takes a7 just comes into play. Bishop Queen attacking the knight. So knight a4 was forced, takes, queen to b3, hitting e6. Mamedyarov went for knight c3. Now if he protects the pawn with rook e8, Carlsen will just go for rook takes e6, takes and bishop d5. You go king f7, take the rook, queen takes a4, queen e7. Maybe Mami should have played this line. At least it's equal, and also he has a dangerous pass pawn d4. But he went for knight c3. He went for activity, knowing Mamedyarov takes an e6. He got king h8, king h2, king safety, king behind pawns. Yes, and the bishop. Rook into e8 takes. Queen c4, h6. Too conservative. h5. Right, not. I mean, you look at the game later as it progressed. h6 was not the best move here. Okay, h5 was better. Now we'll see later why. So h6, a3, nice move, a nice waiting move by Magnus. a5 takes, bishop f1. This is going to be a target with bishop to d3. Queen f8, king g2, knight e4. It provokes queen a8, and then the king goes back to g1. Okay, that queen was also attacking a3, by the way, so it was a double attack here, right? Knight into e4, bishop e1, king takes a3. Now, if Mamedyarov goes for queen takes a3 straight away here, there's queen e6, hitting the pawn, threatening bishop c4. For example, you go g5. Now, this is just bad, yeah. Even h4 wins, because if you take on h4, queen g6, bishop d3, game over. Okay, you can still play queen f8 to queen g8 here, bishop d3, queen g8 to protect the h7 square, but bishop takes h6 comes into play. So knight e4, bishop e1 before taking on a3. After bishop d3, he has knight d6, queen a6, now knight f5. Queen threatens d3, so Magnus cannot take that pawn on g6. h4, that will be a target with h5, forcing h5. Now you will see that going back to that move earlier, right? If Mamedyarov played h5, then he wouldn't waste that tempo, yeah. So takes, two bishops, king h7, queen b5. Now this is typical Carlsen's game, centralizing the queen, grinding out his opponent, yeah, and tiring them out also. Queen d6, queen f3, it's still equal, but the Magnus pressure, yeah. Bishop d8, the Magnus Carlsen effect. Queen to b7, knight e6, queen c6. And here, Mamedyarov blundered. Okay, he had very less time. And you have less time, and Magnus is grinding out. That is just a tough day for you. After queen b3, white has this winning tactic with bishop takes g6, of course. Takes, queen takes on d6. I think Mamedyarov was hoping for queen takes d6 here, and he goes for queen takes d3. But he makes this intermediate check on g6, winning a pawn. King h7, queen d7, threatening bishop f6. Queen c6, king to f7. Magnus went for queen c5. I think he could also go for queen f3 here to simplify the position here with king takes. If you go d3, just bishop b6, because it's tricky if you go king e3 and this bishop d4. Yeah, it's a draw. So bishop b6, stopping that bishop d4 threat, and go for the pawn. Yeah. If he goes bishop h6, it's bishop e3. But Magnus went for king c5, hitting h5. The king cannot go back to g6. It's queen g5 and queen takes h5. So queen b7 check, just f3. King e8, bishop c7. King h3, the king is so safe on h3. d3 takes the pawn. Now it's 3 connected pawns, connected pass pawns. Queen f7 check, after king c6. Did one more move, but then again resign after playing the move. Okay, Magnus can simply play queen c4 check here. If you go back to d7, and just the bishop goes back to f4, how do you stop the pawn? Right. You cannot play d2 here because it's queen d5. Yes, check, take. All right, so with this victory, Magnus is now in the lead. He had 9.5 before the game, so winning this one +3 according to their scoring system. So he gets into 12.5 and then won his game in the Armageddon. So that brings him to, from 10, brings him to 11.5. So Magnus is leading by a point. Wesley is not far behind after winning that Armageddon against Aryan Tari. So from 8.5, because I'm 1.5, so Wesley with 10. So Wesley number 3, Magnus number 1, and Anna number 2. All right, that was round number 6 of Norway Chess 2022. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for supporting our channel, Charles Max Chess and Charles Max Entertainment on Facebook and YouTube. This is Coach Oliver. Stay safe, everyone.